From Rodman's $20 million baby proposition, to Ray Allen's catfish saga, to Kyrie and KD's secret plot, these are the top 7 NBA stories you might not have heard. Alright, hear this out. No mystery here, just a wild tale about Dennis Rodman that's straight up bananas. In the early 90s, Rodman wasn't just dominating the NBA, he was turning heads with his outlandish style. You know, crazy outfits, rainbow colored hair, the whole shebang. And who took notice? None other than the queen of pop herself, Madonna. Madonna was so smitten by Rodman that she went to extreme lengths just to get in touch with him. I'm talking weeks of calling up the Spurs trying to catch a glimpse of the man. Eventually, they hooked up, making headlines with public displays of affection, dinner dates, and even belt shopping adventures. Yeah, you heard that right, belt shopping. But here's where it gets wilder than a Vegas night out. One day, while Rodman was rolling the dice in Sin City, he gets a call from Madonna. And what's her proposition? Hold on to your hat, baby, because it's a doozy. She offered him a cool $20 million to wait for it to get her pregnant. Yeah, you heard that right. She wanted a little Rodman Jr. running around. So what does our man Dennis do? Well, you know he's all in. He hops on the next flight to New York, ready to make it happen. But here's the kicker. Rodman's shot wasn't as accurate as his rebounding skills, if you know what I mean. He basically left Madonna without a baby and Rodman without the cash. Now that's a plot twist you probably weren't expecting. Speaking of twists, let's dive into the bizarre world of Ray Allen and his catfish chronicles. So you break into the NBA scene, get some attention, and suddenly your social media becomes a battlefield of messages from the ladies, right? Back then, you know, Instagram wasn't as poppin', but you naturally have to be curious, right? And this is what Ray Allen went through. Well, he shouldn't have taken it so seriously because in 2017, he found himself in the middle of a catfish saga. Here's how it went down. Allen's getting messages thinking he's chatting with a woman, and then bam, plot twist, it's a dude named Bryant Coleman? What? Once the truth came out, Allen immediately called it quits, cut ties, and thought he was done with the whole bizarre encounter, but oh no, that wasn't the end. Coleman, feeling scorned, decided revenge was the only way to go. He claimed Allen knew he was a man and insisted that they had a romantic relationship for years. Allen obviously called BS on the whole thing. But wait, it gets weirder. Coleman accused Allen of stalking him and even filed a restraining order against the NBA star. It turned into a messy battle with Coleman out to ruin Allen's life, allegedly death threats and whatnot. Allen and his legal team fired back, calling Coleman deranged and the real stalker. Now let's dive into a secret that adds a layer of intrigue to the Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant duo. After the Nets' disappointing first round exit against the Celtics in the 2022 playoffs, questions arose about the wisdom of their decision to team up in Brooklyn. It didn't help that Kyrie and KD's former teammates made the 2022 NBA Finals. The speculation began when Kyrie and KD decided to join forces. We can't forget Kyrie's tumultuous exit from Boston, with reports of the Celtics players wanting him gone. As for KD, the conflict with Draymond Green and the public spat added drama to his departure from Golden State. Here's where it gets interesting. During the 2019 NBA All-Star Weekend, Kyrie and KD were reportedly inseparable, often talking away from the rest of the players during practice and even in the locker room. Caught on camera, Kyrie was seen signaling 2 with his fingers, which many believed referenced to the 2 max contracts the Brooklyn Nets could offer during the upcoming free agency. Both players were discontent with their current situations at the time, and the vibes were obviously off. They wouldn't engage with teammates off the court and quickly shut down any media questions about the possibility of them teaming up in Brooklyn during free agency. Well, now it seems the rumors were true. The secretive conversations during All-Star Weekend indeed hinted at their plans to join forces in Brooklyn, ultimately confirming that Kyrie and KD were plotting their move long before it became public knowledge. Now let's shift gears to the power dynamics of James Harden's era in Houston. Harden's early years in Houston saw the Rockets rise as a playoff threat, consistently finishing among the top contenders. Yet, despite their regular season prowess, playoff success eluded them, and the reasons were aplenty. Dynastic competition, unfortunate injuries, and at times subpar performances, including the infamous 12-turnover game against the Warriors in 2019 and the Game 7 stumble against the Clippers in 2015. Nevertheless, Harden's brilliance couldn't be ignored. He earned an MVP award in 8 seasons, averaged over 30 points per game in multiple seasons, and set numerous records. However, behind the scenes, a different narrative unfolded. Reports surfaced depicting a turbulent locker room and strained relationships. Harden's fallout with star teammates including Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook hinted at deeper issues. The common denominator? James Harden himself. As reports emerged after Harden's departure to the Brooklyn Nets, it became clear that Houston's culture had revolved around whatever James wants. Harden's lax approach to team protocols, being consistently late for practices and film sessions, set a tone that frustrated teammates. Russell Westbrook, a longtime friend, expressed his discontent, even shouting to start the film session without Harden due to his chronic tardiness. The abuse of power extended to dictating team travel schedules. When playing alongside Chris Paul, frustrations grew as Harden seemingly had the final say in every detail of the team's travel routine. Indeed, power in the wrong hands can be destructive, even for a player as talented as James Harden. Switching gears, we delve into the heartwarming revelation of James Harden's nickname, Lucky. So, when James Harden's mother welcomed him into the world, she bestowed upon him the moniker Lucky, and the reason behind his name is quite touching. See, before James arrived, his mother had experienced a series of heart-wrenching miscarriages, so when he finally came along, Harden unknowingly became a symbol of luck and resilience for his family. Surprisingly, Harden admitted that he wasn't aware of this touching backstory until later in life. Turns out he owes his nickname to the fortunate outcome of a challenging period for his mother. Harden reflects on the strength he inherited from his mother, describing her as strong-minded human being. Despite the initial struggles, everything turned out okay, and Lucky Harden emerged as one of the happiest kids around. Now let's hit the brakes and talk about a sad story from June 2007. While cruising with his friend Andre Bell, J.R. Smith wasn't exactly Mr. Careful on the road that day. Going a whopping 67 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone, Smith zoomed past a stop sign and collided with another vehicle. The result, Smith and Andre were ejected through the windshield, crashing onto the street. J.R. escaped with minor scratches and a shoulder injury, but Andre wasn't as fortunate. He later succumbed to injuries in hospital. The judge threw a 90-day jail sentence at Smith for causing the accident, but with a deal to do 500 hours of community service, particularly visiting sick children, he served 30 days. JR expressed deep regret, stating, "It's been unbearable to deal with. I am deeply sorry. I never intended for this to happen. It tears me up that it went down like that." Despite the tragedy, the victim's mother eventually found it in her heart to forgive. Finally, we wrap it up with Joel Embiid's roaring deception. Embiid, known for his towering presence on the court, had a childhood story that echoed the bravado of a lion slayer. He claimed that in his early years growing up in Cameroon, the rite of passage for boys in his village involved proving their manhood by venturing into the venture and hunting down a lion. Shockingly, according to Embiid, he accomplished this monumental feat at the tender age of 6 years old. As the tale goes, young Joel bravely marches into the jungle, confronts the mighty lion, and emerges victorious. For years, Embiid was hailed as the Lion Killer, a title he embraced and even incorporated into his public persona. However, in a surprising turn of events in 2016, Embiid made a shocking confession during an interview with Adrian Wojnarowski. The Lion Slayer revealed that the entire story was an elaborate ruse, a carefully crafted deception aimed at trolling people. Embiid candidly explained that he used to fabricate the tale to exploit Americans' lack of awareness about the world, capitalizing on the fear associated with such a daring feat. Are you now eager to explore more hidden stories from the lives of NBA legends? Subscribe to watch our other videos. See you in the next one.